Welcome back, YouTubers, to our TNA Against All Odds pay-per-view preview video with us, the dynamic duo, the British Fist.
Gotcha!
By the way, guys, we're British. I'm Mr. Parkin, and this guy sitting next to me loves to drink tea. It's none other than NJ.
What's up, Paul?
Knock me out the park there, NJ, with that what's up. God damn. If you do that anymore, you're going to be knocking those YouTubers out with that what's up. But anyway, metaphorically, of course. Subscribe up above, like this video, and comment your thoughts on this upcoming TNA pay-per-view down in the comment section below.
Make sure you contact us in the links in the group box below.
Yeah, so TNA Against All Odds, NJ. The one after Genesis, which we thought was a pretty decent pay-per-view. Let's do what we always do here and just talk a little bit about the build. What are your thoughts on the build and your initial enjoyment going into this pay-per-view?
Well, I think the TNA had their ideas on who they want to build up in this pay-per-view. They had the idea of having the main event wrestlers growing through that. And they had the tag titles and all the title defenses and matches. They all wanted to build up these wrestlers. So I think the build to them was pretty good, I think.
Yeah, I mean, the TV shows lately have been pretty good. I think there's been a massive improvement. The UK shows have been quite entertaining as well. So the TV show has been very good. The only thing I really want TNA to do is really accentuate those TV shows to the pay-per-view, because if there's one thing we can say, it's that TNA kind of focus more on their TV show than they do their pay-per-views. But they have, in my opinion, done a good job of hyping up this pay-per-view. I mean, we've got 7 matches, which to me isn't enough. But at the same time, they've hyped up most of the matches to a point where I will be looking forward to most of them. I mean, I'm looking forward to about, what, 5 or 6 out of the 7 matches we had. So TNA have definitely done their job in giving me what I want to see, and they've really done a good job in hyping up to it. So I will say I'm genuinely looking forward to this pay-per-view and what it can offer TNA going into lockdown.
Very true, it says.
Any more thoughts on the build? Or
what I'd say is that the build has got us wanting these matches, which is exactly what was needed, and it's got us wanting to watch this pay-per-view.
Should we just get the worst one out of the way first?
Yes.
Garrett Bischoff versus Gunner. Well, I'll say this. I've complained a lot about Garrett Bischoff and Gunner, the feud and everything, being on TV but not being at a pay-per-view. So it looks like I'm kind of getting my wish that they're building it to, at least they're building it to a pay-per-view match. That's the one positive I can see from this, even though I don't really want to see Garrett Bischoff versus Gunner with Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff. It's just because you just put over Gunner massively at Genesis, where getting in that win against RVD. And it just seems to me, the way they're going, and the way Garrett Bischoff's going at the moment, they're just going to job Gunner out to Garrett Bischoff. It's just going to ruin him again.
The sad thing about this is that the TNA have this whole idea of building up Garrett Bischoff to become an eventual wrestler for TNA. And then they're pitting him against Gunner, a guy who is obviously gradually coming out of Immortal and coming his own wrestling, growing in the company. And again, the TNA deciding, do they want to continue giving Gunner this big push, which would be right for him, or give Garrett Bischoff, the guy who's just coming into the wrestling business, the win. And I'm sadly thinking that with Hogan on Garrett Bischoff's side, Garrett's going to pick up the win.
Yeah, I feel that's going to happen too. I feel Garrett Bischoff is going to win on his return. The thing I have here is, you've got Hulk Hogan putting over Garrett Bischoff, and does Garrett Bischoff really deserve to be being called the future of the business? Do you know what I mean? Does that really is that really the case? Is Garrett Bischoff really the future of the business, Hogan? Or are you just being paid 6-figure salaries to say stuff like that? I'm sorry, but this match to me, I'm just not interested in, and it's total bullshit in my opinion. The only good thing about it is the Hulk Hogan stuff we've had. That was entertaining in the UK shows.
And the sad thing is, I think this is like, where's Ric Flair gone? They're using Bischoff instead of Ric Flair, but anyway, I think Gunner is going to have his events in this, but obviously with Hogan by Garrett Bischoff's side, it's going to go swerve that way. Yeah,
and so we're just really not interested in this match, just generally, because of Garrett Bischoff's rise, and it just doesn't really. It should be an OVW. The guy really shouldn't be getting the push that he should. I mean, you've got guys like Anderson that aren't even on TV at the moment. Guys like Pope that aren't even on TV, and Garrett Bischoff is getting all this TV time, and it's just like bullshit.
That's the horrible thing. In the TV shows, he's been the hour main event. They're trying to build him up to something that he's not going to make it, and he's got a pay-per-view match. They've got some rubbish idea with it.
Yeah, well, they're giving him too much rub. That's my issue. But that's our bad match out the way and done with first. Kazarian with Christopher Daniels versus AJ Styles. A quite interesting view, in my opinion. You had Kazarian turning on his tag team partner. Now these two are going at it. I imagine these two will probably have a pretty, knowing that they're good workers, pretty decent match. But at the same time, the storyline could get in there and maybe affect the match a little bit. But genuinely, more and not looking forward to this match and seeing what these two are going to do, and hopefully it will continue the story in a way which will be interesting and eventually lead to AJ Styles versus Daniels again.
Well, the way I see this, there's 2 ideas I've got. again, Daniels is getting involved, so I think he still wants a bit of AJ eventually. But also, there's Kazarian and Daniels. Kazarian's not been all for doing what Daniels wants. It could be a feud there. So there's 2 feuds that could be happening from this. But the match itself, again, they've been tag partners. They've been in a faction together. Yep. So they have a friendship there. So for them to go against each other, I'm looking forward to seeing how well they work against each other.
Yeah, I mean, it's a logical feud in the sense you've had Kazarian turn on AJ Styles. Even if it was a little bit random, you've now got AJ Styles going against Kazarian to get to Daniels. I imagine that's probably what a match they'll do at Lockdown. Bound for Glory, they said one last time. Looks like we're probably going to get this one more time. But this match at least should be good. But it just depends how much story they want to incorporate in it, and that'll affect the match quality. But, you know, that's my only problem.
True.
We have a number 1 contenders X Division match, Chizima Ion versus Jesse Sorensen. What do you think about 2 X Division matches being on the card? I think this will open. This will definitely open the pay-per-view, just because I know it will. What are your opinions on there being 2 X Division matches, having a number 1 contendership match and then a title match?
Well, 2 X Division, again, that is an important part of TNA, to say the rising stars, which will be an X Division and probably grow higher eventually, maybe. So for us to have, well, the contender match, I'm not really looking forward to it. Team Ion, he's done great recently. Jesse Thompson, I'm not a great fan of. But again, it should be a good pace opener to this X Division.
The one thing I do like about this, this is going to open the show, the X Division title match, which deserves to be a lot higher on the card, will be a lot higher on the card. Plus, you're deciding your number 1 contender and your champion at the pay-per-view, so you can have pretty early pay-per-view hype going into Victory Road, which I like. So, number 1 contendership match, hopefully it should be a good opener. It probably will be a good opener, it's X Division. Just because I think Austin Aries is going to win the X Division match, I think that Jesse Sorensen is going to win this. But I would like to see Zima Ion win, because I do think he has really shined a little bit lately, as a, especially after that best of 3 match they had on the way to Genesis.
Well, the way they've been giving Zima Ion these video packages in the past and obviously building him up, it would be good to give him the win, and then obviously the match against Aries.
Yep.
But I think maybe they are going to swerve a bit toward Jesse Sorensen, just because obviously him being a talent that had good involvement in the past matches.
And he's a babyface as well, so it kind of makes sense, doesn't it?
True.
TNA Knockouts title match, Gail Kim versus not Mickie James, but Tara. I must say, I am quite looking forward to seeing them having a longer, drawn-out pay-per-view match. And, it's a match that we haven't really seen too much. We've seen a lot of Gail Kim versus Mickie James. So, to me, it's a nice sort of change of pace, especially with this whole Mickie James heel turn, which apparently might be happening. So, this feud, it's only had a couple of weeks to be built, but it should be a good match. I know that these two women are very good workers in the ring, so I expect this to be a pretty good match, and hopefully no overbooking like Genesis TNA.
Well, with the knockouts that the TNA have, it's good that they've actually given other knockouts a chance to be in the title picture, and Tara being someone that, obviously we've seen her in the ring, we've seen that she can perform, so for her to have this title match, and obviously you said no overbooking, I think it should be a good match. But I do see Gail Kim retaining and then eventually building on back to probably against Mickie James or someone else afterwards.
Velvet Sky. They were going to do Velvet Sky versus Gail Kim at Lockdown, you can just see it. But Gail Kim should definitely win this. It'll be a good match. Hopefully it'll be a clean victory and then Gail Kim will move on, possibly. Who really knows? But I'm looking forward to this match. Not often I can say that about a women's match. Well, WWE compared to TNA, that's a different story. TNA X Division title match, Alex Shelley versus Austin Aries. The promo segment that they did on Alex Shelley's return instantly made me want to see this match, and I think this match would probably be match of the night, in my opinion.
Well, it is a match that we've been waiting for a long time. To see them actually gradually now building up to this, give us the match that we want to see. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm thinking it's going to be a good TNA X Division title match.
Yeah, I mean, it is like I said, it's a match we wanted to see ever since Austin Aries was signed by TNA. We thought it might happen at Bound for Glory, but instead it's going to happen against all odds. I'd love to see them draw this out to Lockdown, because this is probably the best X Division feud, in my opinion, they could have right now. So to have a guy like Alex Shelley and Austin Aries going at it in a pay-per-view match, I hope they get a long time to tell a story and stuff, but this could be a very good match. I think this will probably be match of the night, in my opinion.
Well, when I look at this, again, they've got good X Division wrestlers, but now I'm looking at these two, which are probably the two of the best that they've got. I'm thinking if TNA actually work on their feud, people are going to want to pay it, want to see it more. So this match, in my opinion, could end unclean, and then obviously have because they've got to think of a way how they're going to continue this feud if they do want to push it.
They'll have a triple threat match, maybe, won't they? It's a number one contender, yeah. Who knows?
Either this will go unclean, or Austin Aries will pick up a cheap win.
Yeah, I mean, I think Austin Aries will win clean. I think that's probably the way they will do it. It should be a good match, though. I am really looking forward to this match. It's one of the matches. It's like it's probably the match I'm most looking forward to on this card. TNA Tag Team title match. Rematch from Genesis, Samoa Joe and Magnus versus Matt Morgan and Crimson, but this one with probably a bit better build in terms of these two tag teams having a feud. It's nice to see a tag team feud on a pay-per-view card, isn't it?
That's very true. We have Samoa Joe and Magnus who, again, they sound really determined for this match, showing that they're not a tag team that's been in TNA for a long time, same as Matt Morgan Crimson. They're working well together and they're actually going to prove themselves in this match, and they've been saying time to become the new tag champions. But I don't think they will yet. I think it's Matt and Crimson, they're going to stay together a bit longer and eventually use the title later down the line.
Yeah, I think their match at Genesis wasn't as good as it could have been, and I think this, with all the build and stuff behind it, will definitely be a better match in my opinion. I'm not really sure what's going to happen because I feel they're going to have that. I really think they might go down the Matt Morgan versus Crimson route down at Lockdown, which means that the breaking up the tag teams would have to happen at some time soon. It would be a good time for the tag teams to break up and Samoa Joe and Magnus to get the belts. But then who would Samoa Joe and Magnus feud with? But the match should be good. I'm just not sure what TNA are going to do with regards to Morgan and Crimson. Will they keep them as a tag team a bit longer? Will they do a little bit of a tease now? Will they give the titles away? It's a bit unsure, but I'm looking forward to this tag match nonetheless.
Well, that's the big question because at the minute there's not many tag teams left in TNA, so either whoever wins, it's going to be a good match. But again, either who wins, you've got to think what's the next step afterwards. Yep. So even if Matt Morgan and Crimson do win, are they going to continue their feud from Samoa Joe and Magnus, or are they going to move on to someone else? But sadly, again, whoever wins, they might be in a stuck position afterwards.
It'll be a good match, though.
It should be a good match.
Definitely so. Moving on to the main event then, a match which we're looking forward to, just because the way I think TNA really built this up, in my opinion, quite well. James Storm versus Buddy Ray versus Hardy versus Bobby Roode. Your initial thoughts on this?
Well, again, for the last 2 weeks, they've concentrated on 3 of them, not Borg, Jeff Hardy not being
couldn't make the tapings,
which is a bit of a shame. They've had to use Sting in his placement, but they built up before the UK tour. They did have Jeff Hardy getting involved and having his part in the build towards it, but then it fell down for these last 2 weeks. But overall, they're really building up, especially the week just gone. They're really building up. The 3 of them are going to have their big part in this match, and it's going to be a strong match.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, what I see happening from this, I see Bobby Roode and James Storm stemming off into a feud, and Bully Ray and Jeff Hardy hopefully stemming off into a feud. I think that would be a good direction to go into Lockdown. I mean, you've had Bobby Roode having his problems with James Storm, Bobby Roode and Jeff Hardy having a feud. Now you've got Bully Ray in there in the mix, who's been, in my opinion, the best heel in the company at the moment, and you've teased the little thing between them two on the last show. So this 4-way has it's got good implications in the sense that it will definitely be good. I hope it gets a lot of time. That's one thing I do hope it gets, especially with 7 matches on the card. This does need to get a lot of time. I'm looking forward to seeing these 4 going at it and where they stem off the feuds going into Victory Road and Lockdown. So I am generally looking forward to this match, as I know it can have good repercussions, not just in the present, but also for the future as well for TNA, because if they give us Roode and Storm at Lockdown, that would be awesome.
Well, the way I see this is that they got 2 feuds in this, and yes, I'm not really a great fan of Hardy being up here already. The fact it's up here and getting his shot, it's going to do good for him as he continues his build and feud with Buddy Ray. And they've all been built up pretty well in this match, and there are 2 feuds here that could pair off quite easily and give us more feuds in TNA. Something to look forward to for future pay-per-views. But the only hope I have for this match is that Sting does not get involved in this. I think that might be overbooking this match. This should just have a clean, boring match, and it would be a good match overall.
And Bobby Roode wins.
And Bobby Roode should win.
Bobby Roode should win this match, definitely. I mean, why change the belt now? You know, especially with his title reign, which has been pretty decent in my opinion. Why change it now? You might as well have him keep the belt to Lockdown. Give the belt a little bit of stability compared to what it was in 2011, where it was being switched every fucking month. So for Roode to have a 6-month title reign going into Lockdown would be good. So I think he's definitely going to retain. That's the right decision.
And obviously, with him being the champ going against James Storm later on, it would be a great match to see, and we still have a strong heel as the champion. So yes,
definitely so. We'll still have a strong heel in the mid card as well in Bully Ray. So
yes,
definitely, he's probably the one that's really benefited most from this, in my opinion, and James Storm.
Well, Bully Ray is one of my favourite people in TNA. So the fact that he's actually in a title picture and he's in working feuds, I'm really enjoying this build to this match and every part of the other 4 in it.
Yeah, so I think it's fair to say, I think you'll agree with me on this one, that 6 of the 7 matches, I think we're actually kind of genuinely looking forward to. I don't know about you, but I'm looking forward to every match apart from the Garrett Gunner match. I really do think this pay-per-view's been built up quite well, and I'm genuinely looking forward to watching this on Sunday. I mean, I don't know about you, you might echo my thoughts, you may just have different. But...
Well, in my opinion, I'm looking forward to all the matches, the X Division, no more contender. I'm not the greatest fan of, but it's still another X Division.
Yep.
The Garrett Bischoff thing, I don't really care anything about, as long as they don't push Garrett to the top too fast, which would be appalling. The other matches, nice to build. Matches that are obviously going to build up each wrestler knockout for after this pay-per-view.
Yeah.
So it's a good pay-per-view to look forward to.
I would have liked one more match, but I think they'll make up for that time in the match in the main event, hopefully, and maybe just giving extra matches, extra like sort of 3-4 minutes maybe. Who knows? Hopefully we'll get a load of long matches in the pay-per-view, because I think it does need it with it going 3 hours and only having 7 matches.
As long as they concentrate on wrestling instead of like backstage stuff. Yeah, they have the whole, mic time before the matches.
And interviews and stuff, which are needed.
Very true. As long as they don't have other filler, I'll look forward to this.
Yeah, so I'm really expecting this to be a decent pay-per-view, so that's I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to this and expecting it to be a good pay-per-view from the build.
Well, we've seen that TNA have improved, and now they've got this pay-per-view coming up, then future pay-per-views. I'm really expecting them to pull this one off as really well pay-per-view.
Do you think it could be better than Genesis? It'd be hard.
I think it would be hard, but I think with the ideas going into this pay-per-view and then afterwards, it could become really good for the future of TNA.
No, I totally agree, and hopefully this will take us into lockdown quite well. Well, Victory Road then lockdown, because that'll definitely be a big pay-per-view for TNA this year. So that's our thoughts on the Against All Odds pay-per-view coming from TNA this Sunday. Make sure you check out our review on Sunday, and make sure you check out TNA Swerve, where we'll be putting our preview and our review as well. Also, get your thoughts on what you expect coming into this pay-per-view or going out of this pay-per-view down in that comment section below. And NJ, you know that little thing they do at the end called the main event? Well, they have this little thing afterwards called, the video recap, outro, whatever you want to call it. Well, that's what you do here. Your cue.
Well, thank you very much. Now, I'm going to say this, people, is obviously we've enjoyed, the build going up to this pay-per-view. Hope the pay-per-view will be just as good as the build.
Yep.
And all I'm going to say now is tune in for our review after the pay-per-view and hear our thoughts on the pay-per-view itself. And let's hear your thoughts in the comment section below, in this video and in the next. And that has been it from Mr. Parkin and me, NJ. Till next time, people. Goodbye.